The other day I was surprised at just how expensive good hair care treatments are today. To keep your hair looking good, it's costing more and more. Hello, I'm Deanne Scanlon and welcome to Uniquely Me at 60. Now this prompted me to start looking at more home remedies because you might just be surprised at the ingredients that you have both in your refrigerator and your pantry that can create some of the most amazing hair treatments possible. I've come up with a number of really great recipes that will treat everything from frizziness to just plain dryness, oiliness, and for the lucky ones who have normal hair. Now the first treatment that we're going to talk about today contains flat beer. Now we all know that beer is full of B group vitamins and of course yeast, but do you know that in a hair mask they are the best ingredients for giving you back that beautiful shine? Now all that's required is a half a cup of flat beer plus 1 teaspoon of the light oil, something like canola, and 1 raw egg. Now you simply apply this to dampened hair, leave this for about 20 minutes before rinsing lightly. I guess if you like beer, you could drink anything that's left over, but I think I'd like to sit back and relax with a glass of red wine. Now the second treatment I would like to share with you today is none other than dairy. Now we all know how good things like yogurt are on our breakfast cereals, how good it is for us for our health, but also when it comes to our hair health, things like yogurt is very, very good because the lactic acid strips away any of the oils. Now the milk fats of both sour cream and yogurt are exceptionally good for adding moisture to your hair. Now you can use just a half a cup of each, so half a cup of sour cream or a half a cup of yogurt or a quarter cup of each combined. And the application is so simple. Now you massage this into damp hair, leave it again for 20 minutes, then rinse with warm water, followed by cool water and then shampoo. It's important to rinse the milk fats out because they will leave a coating on your hair if you have not rinsed thoroughly. Now number 3 is so me, the dry, frizzy look. Recipe number 3 is the humble avocado. Now it's simply a matter of smashing an avocado. I like to add a little bit of yogurt to that for extra moisture and extra shine. Now you wrap your hair up in some Glad wrap and the warmth from your scalp helps the avocado and the yogurt activate. So sit back again, relax with a book maybe for 20 minutes before rinsing with nice warm water. Use this treatment for dry hair twice a month because as we all know, when you have dry hair, moisture doesn't stay in the hair for very long. Now my next recipe I like to call the hen effect. So called of course because this recipe uses eggs. Now we all know that eggs provide good fats and loads of protein, plus the active little helpers enzymes. So this recipe covers all hair types. If you are normal, or your hair is at the very least, then use a whole egg. While oily hair only needs to use the whites, as they are the ones that have the oil stripping properties. And of course, for dry hair, you will use an entire egg. Now once again, the time limit for this is 20 minutes. Now do make sure that you rinse this off with cool water first, followed by warm. You see, being an egg, if you use warm water, you could quite easily end up with a poached egg on your hair. Now this next recipe is one of my favourites because it contains bananas. Now, as we know, bananas contain potassium and silica, which is said to replicate collagen. So if you mix up a little extra, feel free to turn it into a face mask as well. For this recipe, you will need 2 bananas plus enough coconut milk to allow the fruit to be applied evenly. Now, you could boil some rice and any leftovers are good for evening dessert as well. Now, I like to leave this on for around about half an hour before rinsing. And of course, don't forget to give your hair a light rinse, then a light shampoo. Well, we're halfway already. And this next one is what I call a double up as well. And it's using apple cider vinegar. Now I say it's a double up because apple cider vinegar is also very good for weight loss. And whilst we're not really on that subject today, if you put a small capful into some fruit juice of a morning, it's very, very good for helping with tummy bloating. Now, one thing that surprised me about apple cider vinegar is it is very, very good for restoring shine to very dull hair. Now, don't throw away your avocado just yet because you will need a half, smashed of course, with 2 teaspoons of argan oil or something similar. Now, rosehip is lovely and leaves a beautiful fragrance in your hair. We also need to add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and 10 drops of your favourite essential oil. Now, in just 15 minutes, this little hair mask can work miracles. So if you're feeling a bit down and your hair's a bit drab, perhaps give this one a go first. Now my next recipe is all about itchy scalp. And it's one of the things that sometimes as you get older, things like eczema will tend to settle when your hormones are a little bit imbalanced. So lemons, whilst we all know they're lovely on fish and even lemon meringue pie, oh, and dare I say limoncello from Italy, lemons are the perfect remedy for an itchy scalp. All you need to do is squeeze a large lemon and strain before adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 of water. 20 minutes seems to be the magic time frame for this. So again, leave this hair mask on. No need to wrap it up though, as long as you have a towel tucked around you just to stop the drips. It's just going to work perfectly all by itself. Now, I've already mentioned coconut oil, and of course it stands to reason that the properties of coconut oil would be very, very good for helping both with moisture and with shine. I also find if you add a little bit of honey to the coconut oil, not only does it help it slide around the hair a little bit easier, it also provides you with extra enzymes. Now, the time that you need to leave that little mask on is dependent on yourself. If your hair just needs a little bit of a perk up, then 10 to 15 minutes is fine. If not, perhaps leave it a little bit longer while you have a nice cup of tea. Now, speaking of tea, my next recipe is using cool black tea. A lot of people don't understand, but tea is great for curly hair. So we all know that curls can go a little bit awry sometimes. So by pouring cool black tea in your final rinse after you've washed your hair, it will help to restore a little bit of that bounce back, and it'll also help to keep the curls a little bit more in order. Well, I'm at the end of these fabulous recipes, but I could not end today without one more recipe for us floppy mops. And it's simple, good old butter. Now, butter helps coat the strands of the hair, and I hear you saying, oh, but that's going to be so greasy. So obviously it's not one for people with oily hair. But the butter will help the scales of your hair to lie flat. So when you go to style your hair after shampooing, it will make it so much easier. But of course, because it is quite oily, you will need to give that a light shampoo, a nice warm rinse before finishing with a towel dry and a style. Now the cooking time for that I think is around 15 minutes, but you will know it's a good thing to experiment with, and you might just be surprised at the fabulous outcome from something that we all keep in our refrigerator. Now, if you've enjoyed these little tips today, I would really love it if you would subscribe to my very new channel. We will be having some more very interesting people very soon. And if there is anything in particular that you would like to know more about, please leave me a message in the comments below. So don't forget to subscribe and also tap the bell so that you will receive emails every time we post a new video, and you'll make sure that you don't miss out on any of the exciting news that we have coming up. Thank you for listening, and see you soon.